1 2 microphone checker. Yeah, 3 p.m. There's Roger.
Roger that.
Oh, you're checking out Susie B? I think I've seen that she's going on live. She's live all the time. I catch Susie B all the time. What is she having? She's having coffee. Coffee time with Susie B. It's 4:20 time with Dwarf here. It's 3 p.m. though. Probably be hanging till 4:20. Anyway, cheers to everyone out there. Yeah, no pressure to hang out, Roger. We're gonna do this anyway. Hopped on a little early today as we've had the day off. Been enjoying that. Hope everyone's had a good lunch break. What, it's like almost end of work time for a lot of people, especially East Coasters. What, it's at 6 o'clock out there, 6 p.m. Yep. Yeah. Interesting Monday. Yeah, we went live, showed a little bit of the what do you call it? A proceeding. Yeah, LAPD sergeant fatally struck by a vehicle along with another person. So yeah, they were doing the whole process of that this morning. So we caught a bit of that with a chopper view. Caught a ride with Stu on the chopper. Yeah, Coffee Pot Lounge. We're doing the pot lounge here. Just no coffee, but bring your coffee. Haven't had my mud coffee lately. I'm kind of saving that. Anyone try the mushroom coffee, the mud coffee? It's pretty good. It does the job. I'm not a big coffee drinker, but I will partake every rare moon. And yeah, we got Reptile bumping in the back there from the Vengeance album, Carl Casey. Yes, there's Dragonfly. I was asking about you earlier, Dragonfly. Jessica Jones had a show about dragons, and she had the doc on. Always good to see the doc. Dr. Dennis Carroll. And it was a good show. What up? The battle. No, Lil Cam. What's going on, bro? Got your avatar mixed up there. The battle, where are you? We're going to talk some more Mount Shasta, Siskiyou County stuff as we discussed earlier. So kick back, get your pets, get your drinks, light them up, get your coffee. We're going to be chilling out here for a bit. No pressure. Yeah, so the Dragon Show was a good one. Very interesting stuff. And I do think, there's a whole connection with historical accounts and different cultures and dragons. And they got into it this morning. But there was one moment, and she's been bringing up the YouTube channel, My Lunch Break. It's funny because she brought up Mud Fossils University, which is another cool channel I check out and I recommend. And Mud Fossils University just ended a premiere right now on YouTube, and he was premiering something about the Scorpius. He calls it Scorpzilla. Very interesting stuff. And in there, Roger Spur, the guy from Mud Fossils University, was mentioning My Lunch Breaks channel. So here we go, mentioning each other's channels here. Greetings, Sharon. Hopefully Sharon brought some warm waffles for chat. Some of those Belgian waffles. Good to see you around, Sharon. Sharon and I hang out in different chats also. What time is it in Belgium? I forgot the hour difference. We were hanging out at Nikki's show last, and I'm going to bring Nikki's show up and a few other things that Bigfoot related that were happening this weekend, on and offline, I guess, or maybe mainly online. We'll see. You just finished oh, yeah, you see, and I mentioned you because 'cause we're mentioning all these dragon things. I was mentioning a bunch of stuff that were dragon related coming to mind, even like cartoons, video games, and all that, which I like to do, and I'm like, "Where's Dragonfly?" So you came to mind, I was thinking about you, Dragonfly, and good to see you here today. And what's up, Andy? Andy Crowley. You know what? I was hearing someone, uh, pronounce the last it's Cowley, but Crowley came to mind. Someone was mentioning how to pronounce the name Crowley. They're talking about Alistair, and I forget how did they pronounce it. It's a certain way. It's not how we usually pronounce it. Crowley, I think it was something like that. Forgot where I seen that, but yeah. What up, Andy Cowley, Steve and Tina? Welcome on in. Hope everyone's having a good start to their week. And there's a time in Belgium there. Yeah, we were talking about the gas prices. Y'all got some real high gas prices. We think we got it high here in California. Sharon was talking about her gas prices up in Belgium. And they're a lot higher than here in California. In California, you know they're high. It's funny because that was during Sasquatch Secrets. We'll talk more about that. During her stream this weekend, I think it was yesterday, and Sharon was in there. We're talking about a bunch of different things, and gas came up, and it was right about 420, and I was like, "Yep, it's 420, and I'm smoking gas here." I had to throw in that 420 joke, but it was true. I was smoking some gas at 420. You know, gas is another term for high grade ganja. For those that don't know, ah, in case you didn't know, cheers. What's poppin', Woo Reezy? Hope you're doing well, brother. Salute to you. And so Jessica Jones talking about the dragons earlier, and there was a particular historical account that rang a bell because they were talking about some reports of them being seen in the Pennsylvania. O'Garrel from Midwest Night Watchers brought up sightings of dragons in the sky in Pennsylvania. And of course, I think Pennsylvania, I think Old World. And so I was wondering, I wonder if there's reports of these dragons near castles, because we know there's still there's many castles around the US, and they're just disguised. Some are just right there in your face, but a lot of them are disguised. Like out here, for example, we have Folsom State Prison. It looks, take a look at that place. We've checked it out uh from online, and I would like to check it out in person, but just from the outside. don't wanna don't wanna take a look on the inside, at least not now. But yeah, it's an example there. And so I just question, I wonder if there's any old world buildings or castles around some of these sightings of these dragons. And check this out. So we're talking about Lunch Breaks channel, and she talked about this report out of California. Gave me a shout out. So shout out to you, Jessica. Thank you for that. Salute. And you've been talking about Lunch Breaks channel lately. Here we go. You talked about Balboa Park. We talked about question castles and reports of possible dragons. So I was like, hey, well, take a look at this really quick because it might be of interest. And there it is. My Lunch Breaks channel, Ancient Balboa Park. And he did it. There's 2 parts, I believe, to this. And it was amazing. Ooh, I see my sister just sent me a text. I think I'm getting invited for dinner tonight, and my niece is cooking. She's been cooking up all types of goodies, and I've mentioned pickling and all that good stuff. So that's exciting. We'll have to respond here quickly and say yes. Salmon with veggies tonight. We'll send a fire emoji. Thank you. Cool. Hope you're all cooking up some good stuff. One hit and said pizza is a good time, says Kaz. Yeah, cheers. Just taking a break, pressure washing. Hope you're having a lunch break there, Magneticus. Yeah, pressure washing is always good. So yeah, we have here Balboa Park, and I knew right away. I was like, yeah, it's all old world there. And this is a good breakdown. So check out my lunch break if you checked out Jessica's channel. And if you seen me question the dragon and these old world buildings or castles. So maybe another rabbit hole to go down there. Hmm. Yeah, so lately we've been checking out these cameras around areas of interest to me and maybe other people out there. But I've been finding live streaming cameras in areas where there have been Bigfoot reports or just high strangeness. So Yosemite is one. Um, we named a few earlier, but I got several set up here. I got some on Mount Hood. Let's see. Crater Lake doesn't have a live camera. We have Mount Shasta, a live cam there. But we do get still shots from Crater Lake. What else we got? And then as far as up as I think Mount Rainier, there's some still cameras from up there that I got here. And I just been checking them out lately. And sometimes when we go live, we check them out as well. I'd like to look at them longer. And there's been moments. There's recently some beach cameras we've been checking out on Sasquatch Island. Yeah, Vancouver Island. And yeah, we've been noticing some strange little lights flickering around there. So we'll continue to monitor that. What are those lights? Yeah, easy money, says Magneticus. Hopefully, get that paper, dog. Stack it. It's a good idea right now, especially with everything going on. But we know that the money could go out as well. People talk about investing into other valuable things. And right now, the world is just really going through it. We've been mentioning some of the current events happening out there. We tried breaking the news the other day with the bombs being dropped in Iran, which is quite the topic right now. I think all around the world. And I tried pulling the article up, and for some reason the screen went blank. So we cut the stream there. I was like, oh no, I thought the whole stream was completely black there, but it was just the share that was black, and I could have kept going, but whatever. We cut the stream short, but here it is. It was breaking news at the time. Axios with Trump claims U.S. strikes obliterated Iran's key nuclear facilities, and there's been quite a bit going on since then. Press conferences and you name it. And here today, I don't know if anyone's checked this out, but Iranian missiles, because we know, I mean, I feel like they're going to not let themselves, right? They're going to strike back at some point. And so the latest news I got today that I've been checking out online is let's see, that's CNN there. Iranian missiles fired at US base in Qatar intercepted. Looks like a little video there too. We'll try and play that. Let's see, will it?
What
There we
the?
go.
Yo.
Iran has fired 10 missiles toward Qatar and one toward Iraq, an Israeli source told CNN. An official briefed on the matter says missiles have been launched by Iran on a U.S.-run airbase.
And I did hear about sirens going off in Qatar yesterday.
I don't like it.
The U.S. is continuing to track multiple missiles fired from Iran toward U.S. military installations in Qatar and Iraq, according to two officials familiar.
Yeah, anyone hear about the sirens, air raid sirens going on in Qatar yesterday?
With the matter.
Yeah. So intercepted. I don't know. You got to question everything now. I'm really questioning all of the information I'm coming across with everything, even this situation here. So we're watching closely and we'll keep y'all updated with things happening. And just prayers for the planet there. Much needed. And interesting times. And we also brought up that let's see here. So Friday, June 20th, 2025, Monday, September 22nd, 2025. And it says the June solstice, 21st, or 22nd. And I believe it was the 21st when the bombs were dropped. So coincidence? I don't know. Question it. A lot of rituals and celebrations happening for the summer solstice there. And interesting that happens right as that was going on. Or maybe it's not related. I don't know. What do you think? I question it. And yeah, also the buildup to all that, everything happening out here in the States, in LA, also the week prior. And so just red flags for me, heads up, people, get ready as we head on into summer here. Temperatures have been cool, thank goodness, out here. Luckily, but this weird haze in the sky, hazy funk, and it's kind of looking like that throughout the West Coast. As I was looking at some of these cameras, we'll have a look in a second here. Yeah, so other news in Northern California, I was touching on earlier briefly. One of the cameras we do check out is out of Lake Tahoe. And can we pull that up? Let's see. We'll have a peek here at Lake Tahoe. Text messages coming in. Here we go. All right, buffering there a bit. Let's see, could we play? All right, cool. There we go. Let's pop it. So there's a view of the lake. Lovely view. Oh, and I stopped sharing. You almost had it. It's like pulling in a fish and you lose it at the last moment there. Let's give it another shot here. Welcome on in, anyone coming in on whatever platform. Yeah, come chill with us on YouTube. We got people in the chat chopping it up. What's up to everyone out in Rumble, Instagram, TikTok, wherever you may be watching this, Twitch, Kick. What else? What up, Carlos? So there it is, a live stream shot with a lovely view of the lake there. And but tragedy struck on the lake this weekend. Very similar, like we had that happen about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks ago. Because we've also been pulling up the Big Bear cams here at Southern California. And we, we're keeping an eye out for anything. We checked out the Big Bear eaglets, which are no longer eaglets. They're pretty big now. They're leaving the nest, flying around, doing what eagles do, which is awesome. And it was cool to see them grow. And yeah, so Lake Tahoe. So the Big Bear cam, there was a tragic incident about a week or two ago. No, 2 weeks ago. A young man went missing. And we keep an eye out for missing persons cases for me, particular areas of interest. But keep an ear out for anything anywhere. And yeah, so we got the word. This young guy missing at a Big Bear there, and then he was later found in the lake, and not much details. And the people that put up the Big Bear live cam, they recently, I think it was yesterday, also went back online and they talked about. You could probably check it out on their live stream, Big Bear live cam. They explained why they had been off. I guess they were having some sort of power issues in the area there. And what up, Richard? John aside, doing laundry right on. I got to do laundry too here, bro. And so I asked, any word of the Big Bear situation there with the young man being found in the lake? And you could see they left a message responding to that. Just no word from that, other than what the sheriff had said. And so yeah, I'll keep an ear out for that. I wish they would have explain more. Maybe put a warning out of what may have happened and what to do to prevent the situation. And we've also been talking about other things happening in other areas, and we know that as we get into the warmer weather, more people out in nature, and more things happen. So heads up out there, folks. Be safe. Be sure to take all those proper precautions, follow the proper precautions, safety first. And so, yeah, I guess over the weekend, there was a capsizing of a boat here in Lake Tahoe. And Lake Tahoe, we've been checking out the streams there because it's, we hear of the high strangeness up in that area, Bigfoot sightings, Tahoe Tessie, which is a Nessie type creature, lake monster, which brings up the whole dragon thing again. Look, we got someone hiking there on the left. So there is signs of life up there. And so, yeah, you get Lake Tahoe area as we buffer Lake Tahoe area. And we'll check this news out. It looks like we're buffering on the stream there also. Let's check this out. Let's get into some of that news. Gonna take a second here as I look for that article. Right here. All right. This is ABC7 News Bay Area. Shout out to all the folks in the Yay area. Make sure we got our volume up here. All right, heads up. Here it goes.
All right, developing news. 6 people died and 2 others are missing after the boat they were on capsized just north of Emerald Bay in Lake Tahoe. The Coast Guard says the 27-foot vessel that you can see here overturned due to large swells at about 3 p.m. yesterday near DL Bliss State Park. 2 people were rescued from the water and rushed to the hospital, and it's not clear the extent of their injuries right now, and 2 others are still unaccounted for. Authorities say crews are going to continue to search this morning.
All right, and I did see. So that was over the weekend. I didn't break it because I didn't go on live, but I wanted to. But and this morning I did get I did see Inside Edition posted something on YouTube with some updates, and you did hear of swells mentioned there. So yeah, I don't know. I think over on, let's see if we could look that up. Inside Edition. We'll see what they're saying over there. And yeah, I heard something about a storm of some sort. And I find that interesting. Here we go. Inside Edition. Boom. All right. I think I got it here. Thank you for being patient. And again, we're gonna be chilling out here. I know half hours. I think it's is Hellbent Holler going on. They usually go on Mondays, 4:00. And that's always a fun live stream over there. They really get into it. Let's see, here we go. Let's get a little volume. Pop that.
6 people are dead and 2 are still missing after a boat capsized on Lake Tahoe. The U.S. Coast Guard says it happened Saturday
So 2 still missing.
afternoon in the vicinity of Bliss State Park. It says 10 people were on the boat when it hit a swell, a quick-moving storm which brought strong winds and dropped snow in the area. 2 others were
So I find that really interesting. So the storm came in and dropped snow in the area, stirred the waters up. I don't know if that's a normal thing for this time of year in that area. And I see you, Joe Monk. Salute to you, brother. Let's see what Joe Monk's saying.
taken to the hospital and are now recovering. The Coast Guard says it searched for the missing people for 12 hours before suspending their search, pending further developments, saying it was a difficult decision. As summer kicks off, the Coast Guard reminds the public to check weather reports before going out on a boat and for everyone on board to wear life jackets. This is a
Or even hiking, you know, that's one of those things is check the weather. We talk about that a whole lot. Lightus mentions it. And yeah, Joe Monk, we're actually not getting a heat wave. I heard about the heat wave out in New York. And let's see, is you getting heat out in Donner Pass? We've also been pulling up a Donner Pass live stream next to some train tracks. So I think I might have that one up on the list here. But we've been checking it out lately. So checking your areas, Joe Monk. And we know there's high strangeness there. So that's why we've been pulling that cam up. And I'll share that out with you just so you could check it out also. Maybe you know of other live stream cameras in the area.
developing story. For Inside Edition Digital, I'm Mara Montalbano.
All right. Yeah, so prayers to those families and yeah, scary stuff. Yeah, so Joe Monk getting snow up that way, and I did notice on the stream that there was snow starting to fall, and I was like, "Whoa, they're getting snow up that way." The weather up here is very erratic. Yeah, Joe Monk's in that area, and actually, a little north of Joe Monk is where Lake Tahoe is. Correct. 90s in Oklahoma. That's normal in June. Let's see, what else did I have lined up? Oh, California news. Also, some other interesting news out of Northern California. Actually, some scary news. Let's find that here. Yeah, recent mountain lion attack. Anyone hear this one? You know, we keep an ear out for the kitties, the big kitties out here, as we have them all over the place. Even here in Southern California and Los Angeles, we get it all. Right here along the foothills, we talked earlier, the 405 freeway, where unfortunately that sergeant, LAPD sergeant last night was hit, but there's been mountain lions hit on the 405, and I believe it's the 110. There's a recent documentary. It's a very short one, but it's the 110 freeway, I believe, also that they built this overpass for the wildlife there, especially the mountain lions, because so many have gotten hit. Even in the last years, we've talked about how many mountain lions have been hit out here in Southern California and killed, including the famous P-22 passing away also. And that's why I have this Hollywood letters live cam going also, because they are known to be up in those hills. Also, there's that famous picture of the P-22 in the Hollywood letters. So, and you see it all the time on the news. There's a recent one with a bear that came in someone's house, and a little dog was face to face with the bear. Anyone seen that? I shared that in the posts, and we're gonna get into some of the posts here too. But a mountain lion attack on summer camp staff member in Trinity County. Yes, right next to Humboldt, right next to Shasta, Siskiyou County, which we're going to get into later also. And we've been talking about a whole lot. Actually, Grandpa, R.I.P. Grandpa, yes, had the cabin up in Trinity. And so, yeah, we've spent a lot of time there. I could say I lived there, right above Weaverville. And so we mention it a whole lot. And even down the hill from where the cabin, I mean, there were some trails down there. Grandpa would always say, don't go hiking those trails because there's mountain lions down there. Like they couldn't go up the hill a bit and be where we're at. But yeah. And this one also has a video clip. Let's check that out. Got the volume up there. Here we go. KRCR, ABC 7 News.
A summer camp staff member recovering after a mountain lion attack in Trinity County. It happened Saturday near High Palm. The victim had minor injuries. The property owner later encountered a mountain lion and then euthanized it, fearing for his safety.
And High Palm, we've been bringing up, there was some strange missing persons cases. There's been some other Bigfoot reports out of High Palm. Have been through High Palm before. Yeah, strange missing persons case out of there. Actually, the sister, the guy helped hand out flyers for that case there. So just a little High Palm info, personal info there.
But DNA tests confirmed it wasn't the same animal, according to the sheriff's office. The California Department of Fish and Wildlife is now working with local agencies to locate the lion responsible. Officials urge caution in the area and remind visitors to stay alert, keep your pets leashed, and...
So did they catch another lion thinking it was the one that attacked and took that one out and still looking for the one that attacked? That's what I'm getting. I don't know. And welcome on in, Amanda. Right on time. Hopefully you could hang out for a bit.
Never run if you encounter a mountain lion. But officials say mountain lions typically pose little threat to humans and generally avoid any human interaction. Person is 1,000 times more likely to be struck by lightning, they say, than attacked by a mountain lion.
Hmm. All right, let's see. Pop me out of there. So yeah, mountain lion attack, and again this year. We had one last year. Anyone remember the one last year? And that's up towards Joe Monk's area and Amanda's area. Welcome on in again, Amanda. And what up, Kaz? Good to see you. What up, Chris Jarvis? Panthers were once native to California and are crossing over from Mexico. Hold on. We got to decipher that? Do you mean something else? Hold on. Start talking about coyotes and stuff like that crossing, and we're talking another language, but sensitive topic right now. We got to be careful what we say these days. Yeah, last year there was an unfortunate fatal mountain lion attack out of Northern California there. And we did touch on that. Was I live stream? Did we bring that up yet? I know I shared that out for sure because we like to keep an ear out for news like this. And even like the accidents in Lake Tahoe, you know, I like to know about things that are happening like that, any accidents or incidences before I go to areas that we may be going to. And let's see here. Yeah, this is it right here, I believe. Yeah, mountain lion attack in California. Fatal mountain lion attack occurred in California, leaving one man dead and his brother. Remember, it was two brothers, and the brother was trying to help. It was gnarly incident, and yeah, hard out to that brother there. And some hearts for everyone out there too. Yeah, the incident took place in Georgetown, California, and marks the first fatal mountain lion attack in the state in 30 years. The last recorded fatal mountain lion attack in El Dorado County, Sierras, was in April 1994, and the previous fatal attack in California was in 2004 in Orange County here. Wow. Yeah, you see, I'm telling you, Southern California, we get them. And if we're getting the bears, the mountain lions, and all that, we should be getting Sasquatch, I would imagine, if they're in the area. So keep an eye out for Sasquatches, folks, in SoCal. Let us know if you're seeing anything strange, having any weird activity. Definitely want to know. And then speaking of mountain lions, one in our area of Humboldt County, a well-known one that I've talked about, but didn't know quite these details. Let's see. Here it is. Yeah, it was a elderly couple, a woman, Nell Ham, saved her husband, Jim Ham, from a mountain lion attack while they were hiking in Prairie Creek Redwood State Park. I remember I was living there at the time, I believe, because I was told about this and remember hearing about it. Neil used a 4-inch wide log, and that's what I didn't know about. I just had heard that she had used a pen, so I thought she had stopped the mountain lion with a pen, and I was like, oh my goodness, this woman is badass. 4-inch wide log to beat the mountain lion. Wow. Which had its jaws locked around Jim's head. She also tried to use a pen from Jim's pocket, there's a pen, to jab the lion in the eye. Yes. But it bent and became useless. Jeez. Eventually, the lion let go, and Nell continued to wave the log until the animal walked away. The lion had ignored Nell until then. Finally, she had its attention. The cat stepped back, pinning its ears at her. I thought he was going to attack me, Nell said. Instead, the cat slipped into the ferns and disappeared. The California Department of Fish and Game confirmed that Nell's actions saved Jim's life. Wow. There's a link there. I see Joe Monk sharing a link. You sharing your channel, brother? Go ahead and do that. You know, I always encourage you all to share your channels. If you're content creators or got a channel where even if every once in a while you post or maybe haven't posted in a while, but there's stuff for us to check out, we'll do that. And that's a shorts there. Shorts YouTube link shared by Joe Monk. Thank you, Senor Joe. And again, talking about sharing, you can share posts on my channel now. So if you go to my channel, see the different sections, videos, live, store that has nothing in it. And then there's the post section. And sometimes you get notified of these posts. They'll pop up. A lot of times I'll share music, other YouTube channels, videos, links from other platforms. You could do all that now on my channel. So if you got something to share, you got photos or links, anything like that, or want to send a message, you can do that. So go over to posts. Someone test it out, see if it's working. I've been talking about this and still haven't had anyone check it out. What's up, Juliana? Listening to the gals from Washington tell their biking. Oh, wow. Dwarf, play his link. It's a kitty. Huh. Yeah, I hope you had a good time this weekend, Juliana. I see Joe Monk's there saying, Dwarf, I give you permission to play my video on YouTube. Not sure if I had to say that, but some people say you do. Here's the link. Oh, yeah. Just in case you don't get. Yeah, I think I've been doing all right so far, playing in like other media and people's videos and like that, stuff like that, sharing. And I could do that. Let's see. But you know what's trippy is I could do it like this. Let's see, if I look up Joe Monk, your channel doesn't pop up. So we'll have to put your handle, which I don't know what it is. But I could find you by clicking, if I jump on the stream. Yeah, because there's a whole other Joe Monk. What I could do is jump on the stream, tap your channel there, click that link. Or I could jump on the stream and click that link and share that video there. Joe wanted to share something. Let's see. Yeah, I gotta find my stream. Where's my stream at? Sometimes it lets me jump on, sometimes it doesn't. Nope. Dang it. We'll get that done. We'll get that going, Joe Monk. People check that link out, and I'll share that. Because, you know, Joe Monk does get strange stuff happening, high strangeness happening on his property, Bigfoot activity included. And that's why we've been running that Donner Pass live stream. And I believe the name of the channel who does that is RR Photography on YouTube. So if you look up RR Photography and look up Donner Pass live stream cam, it should pop up. And Juliana, yeah, no, I haven't checked that out. There's Chris Jarvis sharing a link there. Boom. Right on. Hot links. Let's see. No, I was checking out Bigfoot Society earlier. I know Amanda stepped in there. I seen Sweetly Morbid Bear over there hanging out. Who else was hanging out there? But it was a good one. It was out of Oregon, and they touched on some very popular places. One of them being Oak Ridge, and yeah, there was pictures shared. There's orbs, you name it. It got pretty strange. So it was a good interview. I shared that in the post. And let's see if we could pull that up. Let's go over to my channel. We'll go through some of the posts because there was some good Bigfoot related stuff this weekend popping off. in the YouTube streets. Yeah. I seen BMR. Salute to BMR for making an appearance on STM. Anyone seen BMR over on Small Town Monsters this weekend? Yeah, he mentioned he was going to be on there eventually. It happened. Happened pretty quick too. So good to see Bigfoot Michigan Rob doing his thing out there, and he's been a big supporter of myself here and of us Sky's the Limit Smoke Shop as well. Yeah, we do have a smoke shop, skate shop, folks. Sky's the Limit Smoke Shop, East Los Angeles, 3925 East Olympic Boulevard. Tap in with us. Yeah, where you at? We have an Instagram also. Give us a follow. We'd appreciate it. And there have been events happening. Telling you, at the asylum, another punk show this weekend. And yeah, things, I guess, rolling along there. Let's see. We were gonna pull up here. Here's an we will get into a Bigfoot report. I see we've made the transition into Bigfoot here. Also, you know, fires are an issue around California, Oregon. Some fires burning close to us in Upper Applegate area. Some pretty alarming stuff there. And so we got to keep an eye out for those fires, especially if you're going to be getting into your Bigfoot areas, Northern California, Oregon. You know, it's a thing to keep an eye out for. Another precaution to take when you're getting out into the field. Want to know what fires are around, and some of them have gotten close over the years. The Patterson site where this footage was taken was, had flames get to it really close. So it could have been all over and been burnt, and thank goodness it wasn't. And let's see here. Also, as we're in fire talk here, let's see. There it is. All right. Well, there it is. Cal Fire, unveils, Juliana, y'all got a new Sikorsky S-70I Firehawk helicopter. Yeah, based out of Neyland. That's super cool. And definitely a new asset. And there you could see an article to the mountain lion attack also that we just went through out of High and Palm, Trinity County. It's a little more NorCal news for you there. Yeah, that's a heck of a chopper there. And if you see, it's an interesting number there. They got the 611. Yeah, 611 there. Boom. 349 West Coast. What's popping? All my 420 heads getting ready. You packing them, rolling them? What's going on? What you lighting? Stony Minds want to know. Yeah, much love to you, Amanda. And there's Ivy. We're sending some love out to Ivy. Amanda sending love. We're gonna send some back. Oh yeah. Let's see what else is popping out there, folks. We were gonna get into, what was it? Uh-oh, don't lose it, bro. Don't lose it. We're up in up north talking about the fires, and let's see, what were we gonna pull up here, Dwarfy? We got stuff. Let's see. Should we head on into yeah, let's get on into some of the festivities. So yeah, we were talking Bigfoot Society. Oh, the posts. Let's get into the posts. Let's see here. So we're gonna get into my channel. I'm gonna go to posts. We're at posts. And there it is. Feel free to subscribe, hit the notification bell, smash that ding dong. Yeah, don't be shy. Where's it at? There you go. All right, so some shares. We're going to check out some of the shares for this weekend. And there's the Bigfoot Society that just premiered earlier. Shout out to Jeremiah, doing amazing work over there. And yeah, Bigfoot zapped her mind. That's the Oregonian lady. And she has a channel. It's Lane County, Lane, Lane County Bigfooters. I forget the name of the lady, but very good interview. Pictures shown, orbs. And we're not saying they're related to Bigfoot, but they could be. They're in the same area. I don't know. But I love when you talk about stuff and you show us the goods. Yeah. Who likes to see the goods? I do. All right. So next under that, we got the homie. Yeah. So I recommend that if you like to hear what's going on up in the Oregon area. And also, Jeremiah talks about his experiences out in the Oak Ridge area, Bigfoot related. Yeah. Jeremiah, the guy from Bigfoot Society. And he brings it up a whole lot. And there's been a couple of times where I've mentioned, hey, bro, we're having stuff down in Southern Oregon also. I've had found some interesting tracks. I've talked about my experiences there and us living in Southern Oregon and me exploring some of the areas that I had of interest, historical areas, and it was pretty brief because I ended up down here in LA for other reasons. But even down in LA, we've, checking out some of the stuff here, the thermal footage I must bring up. But yeah. So I don't know. I just felt like there was so much more work to do out in Oregon, but life got to go by life's means. And here we are. Anyway, yeah, but they did mention that there's not only happening in the areas that Jeremiah mentioned, and it's all over Oregon, and not only Oregon, it spreads beyond. And even the Southern Oregon's got to have that high strangeness because you're so close to these areas. In Northern California that we're talking about is just a a border that we call that separates it, right? And so of course that stuff's got to go over. It's probably the same Bigfoots in Oregon, Southern Oregon, hopping over to Northern California, back and forth, and then going from the coast back to inland. And maybe some are from the area, stay around the area. Are you in Toronto, Freaky? There's Freaky Geek. What's up, Freaky Geek? Verax, what up? Who, me? I'm a fun guy. Yeah. Come on. Live in Oregon. Mushroom hunting in NorCal. We were talking about sipping mushroom coffee earlier. Yeah, we love the mushrooms. Even the deadly ones. You got to be careful with them. Got to learn them. There was a potential dogman attack in Soor. I'll find that and send it to you. It was a little bit ago, but it's interesting. And is it out of, I wonder where that's out of, Juliana Sharon. Interesting. Hearing more about dogmen stuff. Maybe people are starting to open up. Maybe it's not mass hysteria, or maybe it is a mix of mass hysteria with real reports coming out. Lots of corridors, nobody goes. 100. It's amazing. And so right under that Bigfoot Society share, we got the homie. Yeah, Jonathan Easley, y'all.
Jonathan Easley to the office.
I hope he hears that. And Jonathan and I just, I don't know, it's amazing how we have just bonded. We keep in touch every so often. I've sent them some messages as of late here and there, but he's up in Idaho now. Good thing he left Long Beach, California, like Cliff Barackman. Now he's up in Oregon with the North American Bigfoot Center, has a museum. He should have made a museum out here in SoCal too. Maybe when it gets the mega bucks, he will. We need something like that out here. And I talked about at the shop trying to make a little space to have like a tiny museum, but man, some mega bucks would help too. Anyway, Jonathan Easley, Western Bigfoot Explorations. Yes.
Western Bigfoot Explorations.
Yeah, we've bonded a lot in the field over the years. And I hope to see him soon again. Yeah, check us out on Small Town Monsters also. We're right there with Alex Pedikov and the rest of the gang. Good episode. Return to Bluff Creek. Maybe someone will pull that up and share it in the chat here. Have you checked that out, Amanda? That was last year in July, and here we are getting to those days again. Will we do it again? And so Jonathan yesterday posted, here we go, out of his area. We've been anticipating since he moved up to Idaho. We're like, bro, what's up? You haven't been checking your areas out? We know Idaho got Bigfoot. And he's just a busy family guy. And salute to him, for holding down the fam. But we finally got something from Jonathan and out of the Idaho area. As you can see, the title there, Sawtooth Sasquatch. Oh, yeah. Maybe someone could share that out also in the chat. What's up, my moderators? But if not, head on over to the post. You could click the link there. And much love, Jonathan. Yeah, can't wait to see the rest of that. It seems to be like a trailer. So it's a nice 8-minute trailer there. And give Jonathan an subscribe. He's been doing really well. His videos have been hitting hard. And let's make sure this video gets shared out. Share it out, y'all. Share this stream out. Give us the like. Are we doing all right? Do we deserve a like? If not, then don't. It's all good. And right under that, we got another rad Bigfooter, Mike Wanders. Yeah. Never met the guy, but he's been pumping out some good stuff. He's also recently featured in a Small Town Monsters episode. Yeah, I think it was maybe last weekend or so. And yeah, super cool to see him there with the guys as well. I forget where they were at. I think they might have been out east somewhere.
Mike Wanders to the office.
Yeah, and he does solos into these areas. Did solo into Bluff Creek, did solo into the Paul Freeman site, other areas as well, and some random hikes too, and beautiful areas, and does beautiful production, awesome work there. And this one is Alone Overnight on Mount Hood. Ooh. Yeah. And I had that playing. A lot of these, I have playing at the shop on the big screen, which is cool. And sometimes, I get busy at the shop, so I won't get to fully check it out. So I'll be playing that again. But we did check that out. Left Mike a message. It would be cool to meet him one day. And Cliff, be cool to check out his museum. We might, who knows? Might happen sooner than later. Been busting out some little shorts there with using the AI on Riverside. They've been updating some of their features, some new features added there. So if you're wondering how we're streaming here, people use different platforms. This is Riverside FM. Heads up there. And here we got also from the West Coast, the homie Backwoods Bigfoot. And he's another one, also amazing production. And according to him, he's just using his phone. So he knows what he's doing over there. And he adds his music and everything, and really enjoying it. So we gave that a share out. Also, Nikki Cologne had her Sasquatch Secrets on YouTube, had her show this weekend. And they're very skeptical over there, which is awesome, I think, because it really challenges me to do better when I'm out in the field looking for Sasquatches. And yeah, a few shares there. Let's see. Want to make sure I didn't miss anyone. Yeah, Timber Giant Bigfoot, also on YouTube. Different style of Bigfooting, kind of the raw footage, which I still do and still like. It's not like not documentary style. It's raw, very much like a lot of us do. And it's cool. It's totally cool, I think, to dabble with both styles. I think it'd be rad to put together a documentary style. And maybe we'll try something like that. Let's see here. Oh, that's another one. Astro World. Anyone get into that? Not Bigfoot related, but very occult since it's there. Another share out on the post sections there. Yeah, that one, wicked stuff there. So a heads up. Talking of Northern California, Siskiyou, the Klamath comes up quite a bit. The Klamath River, and awesome historic first descent. Tribal teens kayak entire Klamath River. Check that out, y'all. That was touching there. I really enjoyed that. And let's see, 4:00 here is Hellbent Holler on. No, they're not. So we're going to continue the stream here. Right on. Let's see. I'm out of here. Not sure if that's a good thing or not. Yeah, well, get the stepping, freaky. Don't activate the dwarf. I got Joe Monk here. Now, much love to you, Freaky. And Freaky, you're I found out recently you're a female, right? I always thought you were a dude. What up, Boots on the Ground? What up, Mid-South Sasquatch? Hey, bro, I actually have a picture pulled up a timestamp as we're talking about Oregon. I have a timestamp pulled up that you pulled from one of my videos. I was using a M80, MD80, I think it is, Canon camera at the time. I did not know how to use it. I lost that camera, unfortunately, but it was on one of my trips into the Bigfoot trap in Southern Oregon. And I wanted to, share a few things as we were going to talk about the Shasta area, Siskiyou County and all that. And since you popped in here and you gave me this timestamp, this was years ago. And it was interesting when I went the first time to the trap. I think that was my first time. I found a little teepee structure and just little things. And I was just getting into the structures at the time. So I did examine it briefly, and it was a small one. Could have been people that left it. Who knows? But I thought it was pretty interesting that I found that right near the Bigfoot trap. There's other stuff. So there's some leans, some brushy branches that were leaned up against the trap that looked kind of squatchy to me, and some other things. Anyway, I was just getting into the structures at the time, and I didn't should have done a more thorough investigation of it, but I did get that on video, which is cool. And then Mid South Mark had pulled up some trippy footage, and let's see if I could I think I should do this. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna the dwarf is gonna shrink himself even further. 1 second here. Ooh, there was anyone get the anonymous message? Should have pulled that up right after the first news announcements we made. We'll pull that up in a second here. Let's get into this timestamp. Some of you will think it's just nothing. Others might find it very interesting. And let's pull this one up. There it is. All right, cool. And I feel like we used to get a lot more, at least I did, people sharing timestamps from my videos and stuff like that, or people pulling stuff from other videos. Maybe people have taken breaks on that, or maybe those people started doing their own thing and aren't doing it as much on other people's videos. But let's get back up in here. All right, let's share this. We've shared it before too, so some of you might be familiar with it. Let's see, can y'all see that? Oh, let's try this. Let's go side by side. All right, cool. Are we sharing there? There it is. You remember this one, Mark? What up, Isaac? Cheers to you, brother. Oh, yeah, he remembers that. Yeah, anyone notice anything here? And again, my camera quality was terrible. I remember someone telling me at the time, you need to adjust your camera, bro. And it was just, yeah, it was a Canon. I didn't know how to use it. And it was very dark, but there is a pretty trippy timestamp, I thought. See, I also did a breakdown. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember that, man. How long ago was that, Mark? Maybe like 6, I want to say maybe even 7 years ago. I don't know. It's more than 5, I think. Anyway, I found it fascinating. But right here, let's see. To me, it looks like a pretty big subject there. Almost looks like one even behind it, almost shadowing it. So 2. It looks like almost like 2 sets of arms there, but who knows what that is? It just could be a bunch of camera stuff. It looks like a conical shaped head there, face and all that. Maybe an ear there. Got his arm around that tree. I don't know. It's a weird one. But anyway, this is in the area of the Bigfoot trap in Southern Oregon, you know? And it's just one of those weird pictures. And again, out of one of the videos, so it'd be interesting to go through the video and see if there's any other anomalies. And you did pull some other weird stuff out of that video. And again, it could be just, pareidolia, or who knows? What is it? Artifacts, or it could be anomalies. Who knows? Anonymous message. Yes, Verax. Should we get into that before we forget? I don't want to forget that. So yeah, Bigfoot trap is just north of the Mount Shasta area also. So that border wouldn't separate it for me. I'm like, man, that's all that area there. Let's see. Let's get into that anonymous message really quick. So we got a message, an anonymous announcement, heads up. And it was actually put out by a rad artist, a local artist here in Los Angeles, who goes by the name of Mir1. Yeah, very, very famous. He's like top up there doing things, galleries, you name it. And a lot of his art reflects reality, current events and all that. And a lot of the topics we get into the reptilians, aliens, all that stuff. So, yeah. Let's see. Let's get out of here. Let's stop the share. Boom. There it is. Right on. All right. So we're going to head over to Instagram for that. And we should be able to play it here. So I think you could see that. That's Mirror One. Go ahead and give him a follow. And if you want to check out some rad art, and he's gotten into the whole hiking and exploring and checking out some of these interesting places out in nature. And I'm sure he's looking at it with those special eyes. But check out this message here.
Of America and others across the globe.
Whoops. All right, let's try this again.
Hello, my fellow citizens of America and others across the globe. This is the architect, speaking on behalf of Anonymous. 17 days remain until we release everything. But first, there's something we feel the need to bring to light now. It may not be able to wait. This is not a drill. This is not speculation. This is a warning based on extremely reliable intelligence. We have acquired verified information that a major attack is being planned on domestic soil. It will be brutal, it will be visible, and it will be blamed on a foreign faction, one from the Middle East. But that is a lie. The operation is a false flag, orchestrated not by a foreign enemy, but by an elite shadow alliance within a nation that poses as our greatest ally, but instead is a hyper-militarized power with deep influence through sexual blackmail in our intelligence, government, and media sectors. The goal? To drag us into their war, under the guise of retaliation. But the real motive isn't justice. It's control, resources, power. A goal they can only achieve by using us as their puppets. You know that once blood is spilled here, the public will beg for retribution. They're counting on your fear. They're counting on your outrage. But now you know. The moon changes everything. This is not just about geopolitics. This is about the manipulation of a population through violence, fear, and engineered narrative. In the next few days, weeks, or months, this will happen. It's a guarantee. The irrefutable proof of what's being planned is in this message. You don't have to believe us now. Just know when you see it who the true terrorists are. It is not who they will say it is. It will come from none other than our own greatest ally. When you see it, you will understand the scale. You will understand the pattern. If we stay silent, we walk into the trap. But if we stand together, share the truth, and refuse to be played, who can stop it? Or at the very least, wake the nation and the world up to what's actually happening. You are not powerless. You are not alone. Prepare. Stay alert. And above all, think for yourself. We are anonymous. We are legion. We do not forgive. We do not forget. Expect us. Hello, my fellow citizens
All
of
right,
America.
let's
and other
go ahead and switch gears here. Yeah, anonymous message there. There you go. Verax, Kaz, everybody else. Amanda, yes. Do your thing. She's getting ready for camping there. Don't let Sasquatch get too close. Be safe out there. Take those safety precautions. And yeah, wonder where you're going. You don't have to tell us, but hopefully you have some fun out there. And yeah, message from Anonymous. Thank you to Mir One. Oh. Here, let's we're gonna let's see, how do we stop that? Got it. All right. I'm going to switch back over here. Yeah. Yeah, again, no pressure. We ain't holding hostages here. Hold nothing here. Do your thing, flow in and out as you need. I know people are probably just getting home from work out here in the West Coast. Hope you had a good Monday. There's a lovely pic there. Yep. There's Mount Shasta. And yeah, we've been talking about some missing persons cases out of there, high strangeness. It always comes up. The robot granny and other stories, but we've never really like focused on Bigfoot reports coming out of Siskiyou County, where Mount Shasta is. And we'll just briefly go through some of the stuff I got lined up here. Let's see what else. Yeah, we'll go through some of the Bigfoot reports. And we also have an interesting giant legend out of the area there. We've been talking about some of the nearby towns from the mountain. Actually, this picture is from the Oregon side of things. Yeah, some eye candy there. Verax, love your vibe also. Yeah, no, I've been seeing you around different chats, and I just been noticing we've been connecting. And yeah, appreciate that. And yeah, hopefully we get other like-minded vibers, you know, on the same frequency. I like to say 420 frequency. We're about to be in about 2 minutes. Load them up, light them up. It's about to be 420 West Coasters. And like they say, it's always 420 somewhere. Kirsten. Kirsten Leia, welcome on in. My tongue gets tied quite a bit. You gotta excuse me. And I'm keeping an eye out for anybody going live here. We're going to continue this since nobody is. None of our... Let's see, is Susie B still live? She's probably still live on there. Much love to you, Susie B. All right, no Hellbent Holler yet. Let's see, maybe... All right, cool. We're not stepping on any toes. Bigfoot. Don't want to step on Bigfoot's toes either. It won't be good. All right. So let's see. Bigfoot, or let's get into that giant report. Let's see. How do we stop? Boom, there. And we'll get into, let's head on up to Siskiyou County. There it is. What is this? Ancient Origins, Unraveling the Mysteries of the Past. And so, yeah, I like to trip out on, you know, the legends and stories of certain areas. And we've been bringing up Castle Crags State Park. And I've made a short visit to Castle Crags. I've been wanting to, every time I go by Mount Shasta, I've been meaning to stop by Castle Crags because I just get like a sense of pulling, like, hey, come over here too. And finally, I was able to make a pit stop. It was really quick. I'd like to do several days of camping there. But yeah, made a quick pit stop, and I'm like, you know what? Let me get some footage of the crags, because there's actually a very nice view from the entrance of Castle Crags. And like, you know, when you enter a state park, there's the little booth there. You pay your fee, usually a ranger there. And I did run into a ranger. Ranger was like, oh yeah, well, you know, you could park here for 15 minutes because I just wanted to check the grounds really quick. Didn't want to get a ticket. And so I checked in with the ranger, and they suggested just park the car for 15 minutes, do your walk around, and head on out unless you're going to pay. But anyway, so I did just a quick little brief walk, took video of the crags, and have wondered about it. We've talked about certain structures being possibly like a melted, like mountain ranges and stuff like that, possibly being creatures. We were talking about the dragons earlier. We brought up Mud Fossils University, who really goes in on that, and he was premiering earlier on how a lot of geology could be creatures. And so I thought about the Castle Crags, or maybe was it an old big old castle and maybe got hit with some sort of who knows? People bring up DEWs and different things that could have caused some of the meltology that we see around the world and different structures and things. So anyway, there's a legend here, and we've been bringing up other areas, and we'll see if around Siskiyou County, and hopefully we get to touch on it. But let's see here. Legends of Mount Shasta, the adobe of the devil, part 2, Castle Crags, Forest of Giants. And it says here, when the Wagas first arrived on this continent, they handed down the traditions to us, that it was inhabited by a giant race of people when they first came. These giants were represented by the Wagas as being very swarthy. And if you're not familiar with that term, check it out. Did a little highlight there. In complexion, and they used implements so large that no ordinary man could lift them. It was an age when large animals roamed the earth. We're just talking about that, Mud Fossils University. And it seems the birds and fowls were all very large in size. We're talking the dragons, and what else came up with that was the thunderbirds and stuff like that. It appeared to be the first age and was the age of giants. The recollections transmitted by the Wagas were that these giants were very cruel and wicked. Cannibals, even, they describe, right? It appeared to be the first age. It was said that God became displeased with them and destroyed them, and they all perished from the earth. The Indians' name for the giant race was Papelene. Papelene, which means people who have died and passed away. Anyone heard of the Siskiyou County Giants? Thought I'd share that one there. And of course, when you talk Bigfoot, giants come up, because I do believe Bigfoots are giants, a form of giants, at least compared to me. And so some giants up in the Shasta, Mount Shasta area there. And of course, they talk about, tall whites, other ET type beings that are large in stature. And so I find that pretty interesting. Let's see what else we have here. Let's head on over to BFRO right quick. Let's see here. Let's go home over here. I just want to take a brief look at the reports out of Siskiyou County, and there's quite a few. Let's go sightings by region. We're going to go California. And here's Siskiyou County with 31 submitted reports. And the most recent report being in 2011, it seems like. Let's have a quick look and see what the list says there. And there it is. Right. 31 reports submitted. That's quite a bit. And you can see December 2011, family has sighting while driving along Highway 96 near Wairika. And that Highway 96, you're going to want to remember that because that is the Bigfoot byway, if I'm not mistaken. (2010) Three brothers have multiple observations west of Wairika. And that's not Eureka over in Humboldt. It's Wairika over in Siskiyou. Yeah, we got Wairika, Eureka, Ukiah in Mendo. April 2010, Class A, daughter and mother both observe a large dark creature in the Klamath River bottom. There's a Klamath. June 2009, Class A, man has close encounter near Oregon border. April 2003 through 25, Happy Camp, blah, blah, blah. Happy Camp. You know, we've been bringing Happy Camp up quite a bit. Dunsmuir. What was some of the other towns that we've been mentioning in Siskiyou County? Happy Camp local named Tara claimed multiple observations. She is not credible. Oh. August 2005, Class A, multiple witnesses road crossing sighting on Highway 96 again outside of Happy Camp. And we've talked about Happy Camp. Let's see here. Summer late 70s. Possible vocals heard by family camping near Happy Camp. There it is again. August 1982, Class A. Where are we? Early morning sighting by a young lady while mountain hiking. Another, let's see, is that 1982, 10 years before that one. Young Native American has a short face-to-face encounter. June 2000, Class A. On a warm summer's day, two young men have three separate sightings. Siskiyou County. September 1979, Class B, son and stepfather. And I wanted to get into actually a thing on, because Nikki Cologne was getting into the Monroe County out of Michigan recent report submitted to BFRO and making the rounds all over the internet. And it was a father and son. And I know that's happened quite a bit. So it'd be interesting to see how many father and son reports there is out there of Bigfoot sightings. 1979, Class B, son and stepfather have a strange encounter on the northeast side of Mount Shasta. October 2002, Class A, parents pursue 7.5 tall female biped across pasture after being alerted by daughter. October 1979, a Class A hunter/logger has a sighting in a closed logging area near Hilt. July 2001, Class A young man has three different footprint observations and one short encounter with a large black creature over a 3-month period. Whoa. Scroll down here a little bit. Hope you're all having a good Monday out there. Let's see, where are we with these? We might go through all of them.
Yeah, I see there's mention of some of the towns we've been talking about. So I do want to touch on that. July 2001, Class A, young man has three different, or reread that. 2001 again, June, afternoon sighting by hiker outside Dunsmuir. We talked about Dunsmuir and the old world connections, trains. July 2000, Class A, 18 campers find hut, videotape distressed Bigfoot walking down mountain ridge. And so that's going to be the well-known Marble Mountain Bigfoot video. I'm sure some of you are familiar with that. And if not, maybe we'll check it out here in a bit. I think I remixed it. And yeah, I found that interesting because, yeah, it was, I believe, special ed students. They were out on a hiking or camping trip, I think hiking. And they find a structure. And it was a bunch of broken branches made into what looked like a small shelter, possibly of some sort. And so they're checking out the shelter. And again, all the no saw marks or anything, all broken branches, like a lot of the structures, stick structures we find. So they find a stick structure, and then at the top of the mountain ridge, they see what looks like a person. And yeah, I don't know. Others thought maybe it was a Bigfoot. Some believe that it wasn't, and I believe Bobby Short on our website had mentioned that it just didn't seem like a Bigfoot. And I've talked to others, well-known investigators, and have gotten the same feedback. And they're from the area, and that kind of surprised me. I thought possibly it was something there. Some people say it was, you could tell that it was a person with a backpack, and just the way it was moving about didn't seem Bigfoot-like. Who knows? And yeah, so there is video of that. Just look up Marble Mountain Bigfoot and maybe let us know in the chat or in the comments later what you think about it. Is it a Bigfoot? There's more people talking about connections between like autism and people being connected to Sasquatches and other things like that. There's the savant theory, Sasquatch theory, and Christopher Noel brings that up, I believe, which I find fascinating. Could be something there to that for sure. Why not? And so those students being special needs students, maybe there was some sort of connection there with all that. Something I keep in mind. And let's see here. 1999 Class A man has late night sighting north of Redding. And Redding's going to be your biggest town, a bit south of Mount Shasta. 1998 August, Class A neighboring dogs bark when loud vocalizations heard. Another 1998 August, sighting by a family on the banks of the Klamath River near Hornbrook. Another 98, so quite a bit going on in the 90s. Late 90s, it seems, late 90s. Backpack sighting off the PCT, Pacific Crest Trail, in the Marble Mountains. So there's the Marble Mountains getting mentioned again. We got a doggy barking in the back. And if we continue down, you could see more. There, PCT, Marble Mountains. Let's see. See if they mention any other towns. There's some more Happy Camp there, 93. Happy Camp again, daylight sighting. East Boulder Lake sighting there. Wairika again, sisters and brothers see three creatures near Wairika. So some BFRO Bigfoot reports there. And maybe you have some experiences out of Siskiyou County. We'd love to hear them. I'm easy to get a hold of. Send it on in. Let's see if this pulls up. And there's a map view of some of the areas we're talking about there. There's Mount Shasta, that white cap there. And there's even Crater Lake right up here. We're able to squeeze that in. And you can notice just how greener it is on this side than over on the eastern side of things. So it'd be interesting to see, compare reports. And I'm going to say there's going to be more reports along the coast and maybe the middle of this Oregon and California, Northern California there in those two states. But it doesn't leave out the high strangeness out of the eastern part of the areas. I'm sure there's a lot more, we've been hearing about those southern Oregon, eastern Oregon cattle mutilation reports, which is weird. And yeah, high strangeness everywhere. Let's see. People are certainly not meant to have oh, man. Well, are dogs meant to have humans? Some. So a little map view there. Let's see. Let's go. Could we go what are we? 2D there? Let's take a little 3D ride, y'all. Uh-oh. There it goes. Ah, I see. You can't do the 3D like that. Got to do it like this then. But don't throw us off, Google Maps. You've done it before. Let's see. Boom. Let's get me out of here. All right. Looks like it did throw me off. Thanks, Google Maps. Let's see here. All right. Well, I'm on a total white screen here. And that's what happens sometimes when I've been sharing the Google Maps. And but hey, I think we're at a pretty good mark. We rocked it for what? Maybe a little over an hour. Hopefully you could still hear me. And once I cut the stream, because I'm gonna have to just cut everything off here. I can't even stop it like I normally do. Unless, let's see. Anyway, so hopefully you could hear me. We're going to end the stream now and we'll get back into it. There's more Bigfoot reports out of Siskiyou County there. I'm just glad we're able to get some reports in. And I'll give it another shot. Let's see if we could get out of here. Anyway, we're ending this now, y'all. Peace out. One love.